Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Cinematic Carnage. After reconciling with myself for the longest time, leaving Channel Awesome, Doug Walker, and Tamara Chambers for the scum that they are, as well as pledging full loyalty to change the channel, I've decided to go back to my roots. Making YouTube videos as just a hobby. And I thought, what better way to bring back this old hobby that I used to love than talking about one of my other favorite things other than change the channel. I'm, of course, talking about Marvel, and I'll probably talk, too, about Star Wars at a later date. But for now, I just really wanted to focus on my first comeback video being solely a Marvel video. I figured it makes sense. I did humbly apologize to the great Martin Scorsese for his thoughts on Marvel a little while back. Well, let's just I don't want to waste any more time. Let's just dive right into it. So, as you all know, my favorite movies in the MCU are indeed Captain Marvel, Infinity War, and Endgame. I like them for my own personal reasons. Each one of them, as well as every MC movie so far, has always been somewhat unique from each other. And hey, that's something I surely appreciate. But I'd like to go back a little bit further to when the success of Marvel first blew up for Marvel Studios and the Russo brothers with the first big MCU release of Avengers back in 2012. And I wanted to ask everyone if they remember any of the marketing tactics they used to make sure that a ton of people saw it. Aside from commercials, from commercial trailers, I would like to focus on one of my personal favorite practices in marketing, and I'm hoping it's your favorite practice too, tie-ins. Some of these marketing tactics for promoting Avengers included great wonders such as food companies like Doritos and Dr. Pepper, and even in some cases Kit Kat bars, putting the characters on their products to help spread the word to any buyers who bought Dr. Pepper or Doritos, and having that pique their interest into looking more into what the Avengers movie was. I mean, if they wanted to, if those didn't work, they'd also had tie-ins with toy companies such as Lego and other companies making cool school supplies for kids, going back to school so you could buy your little kiddos a backpack and lunchbox with all his favorites. Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury, Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow, Steve Buscemi as Captain America, and Nathan Lane as the Incredible Hulk. And speaking of which, that brings me to my next point. Having big-name cast members star in your movie is also another key element. Otherwise, people wouldn't go to see it. And what's also important is if they can act. I mean, I personally believe nobody else could better play these roles. All of these iconic characters, and they bring such passion and life to the characters, and it's hard to imagine not to. But anyways, aside from marketing tactics, that's for more or less worked greatly in Marvel's favor. The first big MCU movie ended up bringing a total of $1.52 billion domestically. And just like that, the Russos had just enough to get them through to make even more of their MCU movies for the rest of the past decade. Age of Ultron hit $1.40 billion, Infinity War made $2.05 billion, and Endgame made $2.80 billion. Now, the statistics were pretty impressive, if I do say so myself. I mean, these guys make more money than Doug Walker makes in a year with his Nostalgia Critic videos. And that's just putting it lightly. So although throughout the 2010s, we saw Marvel being promoted here and there, wherever we went and what have you. And what I want to know from my lovely audience here today is if they remember anything from when Marvel movies being promoted everywhere they went. I'm not asking for big groundbreaking stories of how when you found out about Marvel and the MCU by seeing it in X or at Y or seeing it at Z. Just see if you can't remember where you last saw something Marvel related, because with the recent coronavirus sweeping our nation, it's kind of hard to find any promotion for it nowadays. I mean, after Endgame, everybody just kind of stopped talking about Marvel. That surprises me, since after everybody made a huge deal about Scorsese's thoughts about them not being true cinema, everybody just kind of forgot about it after a few months. Just like how months on end, I thought I destroyed the change of channel movement and exposed Midnight's Edge, but then my best friend Hayden Simley told me about how that wasn't the case. In conclusion, I'm honestly thankful that I've experienced the magic of the MCU with everybody and developed meaningful friendships and had so much fun along the way. And you know what? I'm not going to let Scorsese's thoughts on the MCU bother me or change the way I feel, because I understand it's his opinion. And even then, I wouldn't have to feel like he's doubling down on those opinions. I shouldn't have to make him feel. I shouldn't have to make him feel like anything, because the MCU means something different to a lot of people. And that's perfectly fine. I know that now. I've also come to accepting that the MCU might never be a true Hollywood standard, and that at the end of the day, they're still just another small, insignificant company making movies. You should love movies because of what it means to you, and not what you think it should be according to everybody else. So, if you're wondering, yes, I'm still going to continue supporting the MCU, and if someone criticizes it for something, I'll accept that. I'll accept it has flaws. It's what makes us all human, after all. So, I humbly wish all of you the best in having whatever feelings you want to have about Marvel and the MCU, and just be yourself and have a great summer or holiday, or just be kind of happy whenever you're watching this video. And I hope you enjoyed it. Cinematic Carnage is now truly back to stay. And I express the most interesting thoughts about my interests so you don't have to. Peace out.